Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of ICT Today with Abimbola Ilori. Technology moves so quickly such that if you are not thinking about what next, the world around you can change faster than you do. That's according to Joe Gabbia, founder of Airbnb. Recently, we talked about the latest development in the generation of internet, which is termed as Web 3.0. In that episode, we highlighted some of the features of Web 3.0 and we understand that it is a version of the internet that can not only accurately interpret what you input, but actually understands everything you convey, whether through text, voice, or other media. Today, I have a young tech expert in the studio who is going to dissect the details of Web 3.0, and together, we will serve you today's offering. Mr. Abolade, glad to have you join us on the show again.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So to start with, let me remind our viewers that the web can be interchanged with the internet. So I don't want anybody to get confused when you hear us mentioning both web and internet at the same time. We're still talking about the same thing. Web and internet can be interchanged. That said, so Lekon, what prompted the development of Web 3.0, and how does this differ from the present Web 2.0?
Well, looking at it, I think we need to also take it back to where we started from, which is Web 1.0, which actually is a form of web that was developed around 1989 to about the early 90s. And this is a form whereby you can only read what is on the internet, or what is on the web at that point in time. When a website is being uploaded, you have to know the exact website you are going to, and you have to know the exact directory you want to pass through to get the information you want to get to. So you can only read what is on the web. But because of this, people around 2000, people thought about it that we need to also be able to interact with, to also put our own opinions to the web. And that was where Web 2.0 came in, whereby what is being published, Web 1.0 is only read-only. It's read-only. You can only read. You can't even interact with it. But when Web 2.0 came, you can read and you can also provide comments.
Okay.
To whatever you've read. That is where the interactive nature for Web 2.0 comes in, and that is where you have let me say a form of centralized database, whereby you, for example, now people talk about Google, people talk about Facebook. You go on Facebook, you comment, there's interactive nature, you can put something online and people will respond to you. That is what we talk about Web 2.0, interactive nature. But talking about Web 3.0 now, we want to have like a decentralized form of internet, whereby you don't just say we want to get information and you are getting it just from one source, just from one database. Okay. So we want to be able to interact with it. We want it to be able to give us real-time information just using artificial intelligence. We want to be able to read, we want to be able to write, we want to be able to interact. Okay. For example, now we have the likes of Siri, we have Alexa, we have Google Assistant. We want to be able to interact with the internet in this form. Okay. That is just the version prompted the development. Web 3.0.
The version 1 was just read only. The version 2 was a centralized database. Yes. But now the third version, which is 3.0, is decentralized. So yeah, and it's going to be interactive as well. Then I believe that with this, okay. So according to you, it is obvious that this version seems more intelligent than 2.0 and 1.0. So what are the features of Web 3.0 and how will this benefit our lives?
Well, the first thing is it is open. Okay. That is one of the key features. It is open in a such that it's an open source web, whereby you can get information. Not, for example, now you're getting information from Google. It's from central database. Is actually from an organization whereby it is whatever they put on Google, you'll be able to read out. But according to the features they actually enlisted for 3.0, it is going to be an open source internet whereby information could be gotten from anybody at any point in time.
Let's break that open source down. You know, there are some sites when you get to, you need to pay for the content, right? And there are some sites you get to, articles, that whatever is there, they will tell you it's an open source. Okay, so now the content of Web 3.0 is not going to be restricted to one particular server.
Yes,
it's going to be open. So if you own a content, there is not going to be a restriction on the content.
Yes, there's actually going to be a data ownership kind of form, whereby I can decide that, for example, now I go on Google, I put my informations there, and at this point in time, I don't even have ownership over my own information. But at this point, when it comes to Web 3.0, you are going to be the owner of your own data. You are going to sell your own data by yourself, and you still claim ownership of that same data, and it's open for everybody to access it. So it is going to be something that would create, it is going to create enabling environment for people. It is going to create income for people, because, for example, now I have information out there, and I sell my data. Let me say I give my data to, for example, Google, Facebook, and I don't even know what they do with my data. Well, with Web 3.0, I can decide that, okay, this is my data. You have my information. I'm selling it to you, but I'm still the owner. But for what, I still have control over it. But what we currently practice now, once I give you my data, I don't even have control over my data. So in that form, it is open to anybody. Everybody can access it. Okay,
so it's open source.
Yes.
I want to hold on to that. It's open source. Okay.
And you know, the second one is talk about ubiquitous. Yeah, it is going to be very wide, because in the sense that at this point in time, we've heard about talk about internet. We know about internet, but there's something about when we talk about internet, there's something we also talk about Internet of Things.
Yeah.
Now we are looking forward to 5G. Let me say we are currently 5G is here, and some of the function of some of the prospect of 5G is talk about bringing things together, harmonizing things. You talk about, I'm currently at the studio now, for example, and I remember that I forgot to switch off my light at home, and maybe my light is going to be running out. I need to switch off my light. How do I do that? Internet of Things will take care of that. Web 3.0 will help me with the aid of 5G to actually achieve this. You know, putting things together in a very seamless way where we can control every aspect of our life in just one single phone.
Good. With all these features and with this robustness, you agree with me that there is nothing without its own limitation.
Yes.
What are the limitations that we should look out for in Web 3.0?
One of the disadvantages, talk about limitation, is that, one, it requires advanced devices. Because one, if you look at it, most of the smartphones we use at this point in time, some people will talk about, I have a 1 gig mobile phone, I have a 2 gig mobile phone. But at that point in time, you are going to be doing something big. Something fast, something robust. So you need speed. And when we talk about speed, you need speed, speed of light. Talk about internet, fast internet connectivity. You need advanced devices. And two, you talk about one of the things is we are not ready for widespread adoption. People are still hesitating, especially with big tech companies. They want to be like, okay, you want to decentralize information. This is most of the ways we are getting money. This is most of the way we are getting funded. So people are not ready for that widespread adoption. And also, the demand for reputation management will increase, because people want to build their reputation. You see people talk about what's it called? People are now, we talk about open source. If you don't forget, we talk about open source. When an open source application is being opened like that, you have a lot of information being put on the web. A lot of people will start talking about things that are not even there. So organization will start putting up reputation. You'll be like, you don't want us to talk about you bad. You don't want us to
reputation management, PR issues will
PR will start coming up. People will start, you start hearing a lot of information that are not even supposed to be. So people want to create high profile about themselves. So a lot of these things, I know, income, Web 1.0 will become obsolete.
That's it's
That
already
is
obsolete.
because, well, it's not that obsolete. We still have static websites whereby you can only read and you can't even comment. But at that point in time, you won't have everything we'll be doing must not be static. It must be interactive. You must be able to, the artificial intelligence that will be powering it must be able to interact with us effectively.
Good. So that's part of the limitations is like we should expect to spend more. I would hold on to that. We should expect to spend more, and we're going to have PR issues. Companies will struggle to maintain their standard.
Yes.
Based on the open source policy of the Web 3.0. Okay. Next one, and now I'm curious in a real life scenario. I'm really curious. With all these features and all these benefits, will there be any significant change to how we access the internet?
Well, there will be, because, for example, now even with Web 2.0, we are already experiencing a lot. Because, for example, now on my phone, I just feel like, okay, I use an iPhone or I use an Android phone. I just feel like, okay, I want to access the internet, and I'm not even with my phone. Let's say my phone is a distance from where I am. I can always call on Siri. I can always call on Google Assistant. We're already getting used to it. So a lot of things will happen. You hear people say, "Hey Siri, I need you to do a particular form of
Siri is responding.
You understand? Siri is responding. You see Google Assistant responding to whatever you want to do. So a lot of things will happen. Artificial intelligence will come in. Blockchain will develop.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll come to the blockchain now. Let us state here that it seems on the Web 3.0 there is a preference for blockchain with this version of the Web 3.0. I mean, it seems Web 3.0 has a preference for blockchain. Are we saying that is Web 3.0 a blockchain?
Well, whenever you talk about decentralized information, it is going to be a blockchain, because it has to go from one place to another, different nodes, not just one server. Okay. So it has to follow a particular pattern. Okay. So blockchain is going to be the drive of this. Talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, because people are going to be putting a lot of information. So how do I get the information I particularly needed, which will actually belong to me? So blockchain is going to be like the backbone of Web 3.0.
Good. Okay. Now, finally, how would you rate this version of Web 3.0?
Well, rating the version, I believe is something I look up to. It's something that would actually aid internet search. It's something that will actually aid the technological development of the whole world, because I want to own my data. I don't just want to provide information. So I don't just want to provide my data for people who would just use it and make money. I also want to make money with the internet. So everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to own their data. I don't just want to give my data to people that will just use it. Most of these organizations, most of us put our data on Facebook, Google, whatever platform we use social media a lot. We put our information there. We don't even know what is being used, what our data or what our information is being used to do at the end of the day. So I want to be able to take control over my data. I want to be able to, also make money. That is the goal of whatever you are doing in the world. So we want to make money. So if you are anticipating of making money from the net, I think Web 3.0 is the opportunity to come.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Abolade, and thank you for contributing to knowledge again today on the program. We look forward to having you some other time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to you, our viewer, that's our offering for today. Join us next time. But before we end the show today, a quick reminder that you can follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook channels. Once again, the Twitter is back, so we urge you to follow us on that platform. Like and share our videos on Instagram, and you can watch us live on your mobile by downloading our app from App Store and Google Play Store. We are also live on our website on www.ogtv.com.ng/live. So until next time, when I return with another package, I will always say that if it is digital, it is part of ICT.